Hello my keto peeps, it's Samaya and welcome back to my channel, I Don't Sugarcoat. Today I have an amazing recipe that I want to share with you guys. We are going to be making keto corn dogs, so let's get started. Today's video is sponsored by Wholesome Provisions and Lupins for Life. I love both of these companies and I really appreciate that they are both dedicated to a healthier way of eating. Wholesome Provisions has a great line of products that any low-carb baker could use in their kitchen, from their Lupin Flour to their sweeteners to their low-carb chocolate chips and so much more. They even have a line of pre-made products that you may want to check out. Lupins for Life has an awesome line of Lupin products, from their Lupin Flour to their Lupin Semolina to their Lupin Kibble and Crumb. They specialize in making high quality Lupin products that I think you will love. Now, while this company is located in Australia, Lupins for Life and Wholesome Provisions have joined together to bring you Lupins for Life products here in the US. I'll leave a link to both of these amazing companies in the description of today's video and links to where you can find their products. Now let's jump into today's recipe. All right, to begin, we are going to start off with half a cup of some Lupin Semolina. Now, I want to tell you guys that previously, when I would write out my recipes, I would use an app to convert them to grams because I was very much accustomed to using cups only. But recently, I've started weighing my ingredients so I can be able to give you guys an accurate measurement, because I know some of you do struggle with doing these recipes. So I'm hoping that by measuring these recipes out myself and giving you the exact number instead of using an app, that might help some of you who are having difficulties with the recipes. So from this moment on, all recipes will have been measured out from me. Previous recipes, you'll notice that I will take all the gram measurements off of there until I can update those personally myself. This recipe will have the exact gram measurements that I am using today. All right, moving on. I'm going to be adding to my Lupin Semolina 1/4 of a cup of some Lupin Flour. To this, I'm going to be adding 1/8 of a cup of some Vital Wheat gluten. Next, I'm going to be adding 1/8 of a cup of some wheat protein isolate 8000. You can use the 5500 version, but it does have more protein. Next, I'm going to be adding in 1/4 of a cup of this Allulose sweetener blend here. Now to this, I'm going to be adding 1/8 of a teaspoon of some pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon of some Xanthan Gum, 1/4 teaspoon of some salt, and 2 teaspoons of some baking powder. And now you just want to go ahead and whisk all this up. Okay, now it's time to add in our wet ingredients. I'm adding in 2 eggs. I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of some sweet corn extract. And I would say this is optional, but personally, I think you should add it because it really does add to the flavor of this batter, making it taste more like a corn dog. So I'll leave that up to you, but I really do suggest adding that. And then lastly, I'm going to be adding 3/4 of a cup of some non-dairy milk. This is cashew milk. You use whatever kind you like. Okay, and you should have a nice thick batter here. And now what I do for this next part is I like to put it in a tall plastic cup because it makes it easier when it comes to coating the hot dogs. Okay, now that that's ready, we're going to just set that to the side for a second. Here I have 5 hot dogs. I think this batter should make a little more than that, but I'm just going to be doing 5 for today. Now, you can use whatever kind of hot dogs you want, and the thickness doesn't really matter. I've done this with thick hot dogs. I've done it with thinner ones. It just all depends on your personal preference. Okay, and you're gonna need some sticks. Now over here in my deep fryer, I have this going. I've got some coconut oil in here getting nice and hot. Okay, now that I've got all 5 of my hot dogs ready, I'm gonna go ahead and take my lid off here. Now, the one thing that I would suggest doing, because this is a wet batter, so it likes to stick to the basket. So I suggest putting your basket into the oil and leaving it in there. So that way it doesn't, it makes it easier to not stick to it, basically. So I would definitely leave it sitting in the oil while it's heating and getting hot, and don't take it out until you're ready to remove your corn dogs. So now you're just gonna wanna go ahead and get it dipped into the batter, and you're gonna wanna twirl it around. This batter is really thick. You might need to do a little patchwork with getting it on there. It just kind of depends. I like to give it a little twirl sometimes as I pull it out, because it helps the batter to stay on it and not pull off. And so I just twirl it and start to pull it out. Now for the end, sometimes, as you can see, there might not be enough on there. And if you go and stick it back in there, you might lose some of the batter. So I just like to stick my finger in there and just put it on there. And just pat it on there. And if you see any spots that might need a little bit more batter, because this is so thick, you can just use your finger and put it on there yourself. All right, just like that. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is carefully, I'm gonna lower this into my oil here. And I'm gonna do another one. Now, if you can see from above, it has released itself from the bottom. And now I'm just gonna give it a flip so that way it can cook on the other side. Now these cook up pretty darn fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and take mine out. And as you can see, it's nice and done and crispy on the outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up. And when I come back, I will show you what they all look like. Okay, you guys, and that's it. Keto corn dogs. Now I will make 2 suggestions here. Actually, one is more of a guideline. When you see that your batter is getting too thick after you do like maybe the first 2 or 3 corn dogs, you can add just a little bit of some non-dairy milk to loosen it back up. But you're gonna wanna do it like a tablespoon at a time, because if you get the batter too watery, it will not stay together when you fry it. Like it might stay on the corn dog, but when you put it into the oil, it will evaporate and disperse all around, and it'll come completely off the hot dog. So you don't want that. You want to keep this batter nice and thick so it will stay together and stay around the corn dogs. The second thing, you might want to turn your temperature down on your corn dogs. I kind of let the temperature get away from me as I was doing these, but it's fine. They still turned out great. They're gonna have a nice crunch and a nice taste, but I would suggest probably cooking them somewhere around, I had mine on 375, so probably cooking them around 350 might be a better option. But I will leave that up to you on how you like your corn dogs and what kind of coloring or whatnot you want on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try for you guys on camera. I'm gonna go with the one that I think looks the most, I don't know. It just didn't turn out that great for some reason. So I'm gonna try this one for you guys. That is super delicious. The crust is light and airy and got a nice little crispiness to it. When you add that sweet corn extract, it's gonna make that batter taste like cornmeal. and then you add that sweetener to it. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is one of my favorite things that I have made. I'm not even joking. And my youngest daughter absolutely loves these. She's probably gonna wanna eat 2 or 3 of these. So I'm gonna be lucky if I get just this one. It is really good. And I'm pairing this with some sugar-free ketchup here because, I mean, is there any other way to eat a corn dog? I know some people eat it with mustard, but that's just not for me. If you can see from up above, just how beautiful, beautiful the breading looks. You guys, you're not gonna be sorry you made these. If you like corn dogs, if your kids or your grandkids like corn dogs, oh my gosh, this is gonna be an amazing treat for them. You are absolutely gonna love these. I love these. Sometimes I make these for dinner. They're just fantastic. That's all I've got for today's video. So if you like this video, you guys, please hit that like button for me. And if you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button and don't forget to ding that little bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video. And until next time, you guys, bye.